It's official. The American Terence Bud Crawford has finally done it. He has entered the GOAT conversation, and this is rarefied air. You know, it's only reserved for those like himself, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, you understand me, Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Robinson, etc. I'm not going to go through everybody, but you get it. It's an exclusive room, right? But, you know, we want to congratulate him, but we also want to know what's next for him. I mean, even Stephen A. Smith has asked him. Check them out.
So now that you've beaten Canelo, where do you go from here?
I don't know.
And as you can see right there from the horse's mouth, he's unsure himself, and he doesn't want to commit to anything before talking with his team and getting some well-deserved rest. And like I said, he does deserve that. But he also says something later on, not just in that interview, but other places as well, that this could very much well be the last time that we not only see Canelo, but also Bud. That'd be crazy.
Hello guys, this is Rolly Romero.
Yo, my name is Nonito Donaire. What's up guys, Designer's Eyes.
Here with Bob Santos Boxing.
And I rock with Dr. Boxing Talk.
I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk.
And I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. Thank you for all the love, thank you for all the support.
You're rocking with Dr. Boxing Talk. Get your daily news from my man right here, the best in the business. Let's get it, baby.
All day, baby.
Amen.
Bam!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you'll say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Welcome back to your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talk. We are back for another YouTube video. Banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, man. I don't know what time it is. Doctor's in the house, man. So check this out. But before we get to it, let's go ahead and smack that like button. Let's do it together. Appreciate you. That helps us keep going and growing on this YouTube platform. Boxing Talk family. We are back with another one. And Terence Crawford, man, he said, hey, he's unsure of what his future may bring. And a lot of us are wondering, right? What's he going to do? I mean, what else is there to do? He just became a 3-time undisputed champion, the first male to do it in the 4-belt era. He was already the first male to do it in the 4-belt era when it came to doing it twice. And now it's 3 times a lady. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hey, he done bust history open twice, you know? Why not? You know, if you're really nice, you do it twice. That's what they say, right? So, you know, after the fight, after beating Canelo, man, who also hinted towards retirement possibly too, even though he's saying that he does have a couple more fights left with Turkey Al-Sheikh. And so did Terence Crawford, to be fair, right? Terence Crawford, you know, he said that he's probably not going to end it either. You know, that's what he said before the fight when talking to Turkey while he was on the little Stairmaster. But directly after the fight, he also said that he'll think about going down to 160 and get a belt there, you know what I'm saying, become a 6th division champion. He said that himself post-fight. Now I want to say this too, you know me, I don't like to take what fighters say to heart when they're speaking directly after their fight. You know, emotions are running high. You have people in your ear. You're excited and stuff like that. You know, sometimes the situation could be overwhelming. They want you to not even really enjoy the moment that you're in currently and presently. They want you to look forward to the future. So, you know, I don't really like to really hold the fighters to that. But he did say 160, you know, in the post-fight interview. But then as I showed you in the intro, when he talked to Stephen A. Smith, he also said this.
So now that you've beaten Canelo, where do you go from here?
I don't know.
So, yeah, he said he's not sure if he's going to stay at 168 or go to 160. But he did say, I'm for sure not fighting David Benavidez. He said he's too big. He said he even understands why Cinnamon didn't want to fight Benavidez, because the man is a big dude. You know what I'm saying? So we got to respect that as well. But he did mention as well, he dug a little deeper and he said, hey, man, you know, if I do keep fighting, continue fighting then on this journey and build my legacy, I'm probably going to stay at 168. He said he could go down to 160, but even that's a stretch. But he also specified too that he's not going down to 154. And later on in the interview, he says, hey, man, I've always told myself when I go up a division, I'm not going to go back down. And he said, this is not going to be any different. I'm done with 154. So maybe 160, he said, even that's a stretch, but he's probably going to stay at 168. And if he stays at 168, there's some interesting fights there like we could explore, right? You got obviously Hamza Shiraz, who's waiting after demolishing Berlanga. He thought he was going to fight Canelo. He could still very much well fight Canelo, but that's an option. Chris Eubank Jr. beats Conor Benn. That's an option. If Chris Eubank Jr. wins, you know, which I think he will, but we'll see. You know, you also have guys like Diego Pacheco. Hell, you also got guys like Christian and Billy. Speaking of Christian and Billy, you have a guy that Christian and Billy just fought who's also in Terence Bud Crawford's camp. And that's Lester Martinez, who expressed an interest in fighting Terence Bud Crawford. He said, hey, man, I want the belts when Bud wins, because we're in the same division. We're in the same stable. But that don't mean that, hey, this is business and we got to fight, you know. So I love that ambition. So shout out to them. So there's no shortage of people he can fight. Now, are any of those guys I just named intriguing, I think the average fan would probably say no, you know what I'm saying? But these are still options and you can still earn something. But I think if you're Bud, I mean, why not defend your belt at 168 or go down to 160 and get another belt there, you know, try to challenge Janabek, or try to challenge Adames, who has a WBC belt, or even Erislandy Lara, right, who has a WBA. So yeah, there's options there, you know, so we'll see how it goes, man. But I think that from what he said here, and he has some time to think about it, he might stay at 168. I'm probably looking forward to go to 160, but if he stays at 168, there's even Caleb Plant and even Jamal Charlo. I know Caleb Plant just lost, so I should say Armando Resendez, who beat Caleb Plant, but there's a lot of options there. But there's another option that he said as well, and he's exploring. Check it out.
But retirement is not an option. Is that correct? I mean, you're not thinking about retiring, are you?
I don't know. We got to see.
So yeah, man. Stephen A asked him about retiring. He didn't say he was retiring, but he also didn't shoot it down either. He said he's not sure. It could be. So if he retires, man, I wouldn't be mad at him, man. Like I said, he's at the pinnacle right now. If there's nothing that's really too fruitful for him, and what I mean by fruitful, I'm not just talking about adding to your legacy, but also adding to your legacy and making money, because a lot of times people think you have to separate the two. That's not what Bud just did, right? I mean, neither did Canelo, to be honest. You know, this is a big fight for both of them, and it was going to add to their legacy and add to their bank account. So you don't always have to separate legacy from the revenue generator. As long as you're not doing goofy exhibitions and stuff like that when you're in the prime of your career, then, you know, I think every single fight that's against a guy that's highly ranked or a contender, I think that really builds your legacy, man. It's just that people get so caught up in two people fighting, they think that no other fights are worth it, you know, and I just don't think that's true. So I think Terence Bud Crawford, if he does retire, I wouldn't be mad at him. If he continues to fight, I also wouldn't be mad at him. But if you're asking me selfishly, I would say at this point, don't go to 175. That might be a little bit too much, but I would say the more interesting fights, as far as getting some more hardware and some more titles and belts, is at 160. You know, you can fight Erislandy Lara, like I said before. And that's not too much of an age gap either, right? You know, Terence Bud Crawford's on the older end of the spectrum, and so is Erislandy Lara. I believe Erislandy Lara is what, 41 or 42, Bud is 38, right? And then you have Janabek, who has a WBO and the IBF, right? And so, you know, that's two titles right there. And then, like I said, Carlos Adames, who also fought Hamza Shiraz, arguably beat him. No, he definitively beat him. He just got robbed. He has a WBC belt. So I think that's more interesting there. So not only could you potentially get more hardware, but you also get more hardware in another division. So I think that those right now, let's be honest too, those are not big money fights, but it doesn't really have to be, right? Because he has Turki Al-Sheikh, the money man, behind him. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think is going to happen. But I think that I think he would go down to 160. He said it's a possibility. He said it is a stretch, but I think that's where he's going to go. That's where I would prefer him to go. But wherever he goes, man, hey, you can't argue with the GOAT, man. The man is the GOAT. Whether you like it or not, he's definitely in the conversation of the GOAT. Not saying that he is definitively the greatest of all time. You know, you got Ali there. You have Manny. You have Floyd. You have Rocky Marciano. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran, Hagler, all these other wonderful people. Joe Louis, Lennox Lewis. You know, I could go on and on. So there's a lot of people in that conversation. But please believe, if you're having that conversation, you better put Terence Bud Crawford in the middle of that thing. You know what I'm saying? He got to be in the mix. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me as always. Let me know in the comments, who do you think he should fight next, and where do you think he's going to go? Like, what division? Do you think he's going to stay in 168? Do you want him to go down? Let me know what you want and what you think he's going to do. I appreciate that. Let me know in the comments. But also, don't forget to smack that like button. And more importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.